All right, it says we are live. What's going on, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, I know I see the ladies in here. Texas Didi, how are you? Ricky Collin, how you doing? Chris Murphy, what's going on? Humberto, I know you've been here for a while waiting. Miller Detailing, I know you just dropped in to say what's going on. What's going on, Humberto? Oh, I got to turn this down. I know you've been here for a while. Turn that. There we go. Mute that one. Jamie the cleaner, how you doing, buddy? Barbara, what's going on? Thank you for coming in. I know Kim won't be here tonight. She's at a wedding, and it was funny because I was like, "Oh, congratulations!" And she's like, "No, it's not me." I knew it wasn't her, but I was messing with her though. Glad to see everybody coming in. If you see me looking this way, because I have another camera or I have another monitors here, I can actually see the chats faster right there than I can when it pops up on my StreamYard. So if you see it like that, happy birthday, Texas Dee. Dee, it's your birthday? She's like 30 now, I think. She's young. How's everybody doing today? Everybody get a bunch of detailing work in today? Watch a bunch of videos. I know Rick had a badass video this morning. DRD, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. Chris Murphy, what's going on? So, what we got today is the Luke Sill. He's the rep for FireBall-USA division. We're going to get to know him and Fireball. So it should be a fun 1 hour time. We'll try to keep at the hour. Yep, 30. I know, Dee. I can tell. You look so young. You don't have the gray hairs like some people do that are way older. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to Luke. FireBall-USA. What's going on? How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Hey, thank you for taking the 1 hour of your time and joining us on this live stream today.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, right?
Heck yeah! So it's cool. We get to know about you and the company and the product and all that stuff. So what we'd like to do when we have a guest come on is we like to we'll ask 10 questions. It gets to know you, and then we'll ask questions obviously about the products and stuff, and then we'll take questions in off the stream, and
yeah,
it's cool.
Sounds good, man.
So first question we have for you: When and how did you
become the U.S. distributor
for FireBall?
Wow. So about 3 years ago, I started using FireBall products just as a detailer in my own shop. I was purchasing from Australia, South Korea. And then later on down the line, I started coming into Canada and getting stuff from Carzilla. And I really fell in love with the brand, using them, in my own detail shops and just testing stuff out, portrait testing. Didn't really think much of, ever really becoming a distributor or anything like that. I just, was a detailer trying to find the next best thing, like we all do. We like to test stuff, right? We like to spend a lot of our own money on new detailing products, and FireBall was one of those products that I tested out and just kind of fell in love with. What really started to kind of tick for me is they were one of those brands that had a little bit of everything, and where some brands you get one good product here, one good product there, and you got to go through a bunch of different brands to really kind of fit your arsenal, so to speak. FireBall started to kind of fill those gaps that I needed in my own shop. And so I just kept purchasing. And long before I started like spending way too much money, overseas, waiting 2 to 3 weeks to get stuff. And it was just becoming a hassle. And so I just decided to ask, how come you guys don't have a U.S. distributor? Why is FireBall not here in the United States? And long story short, they were like, well, we planned on coming there in 2015. One of our distributors that owns the rights to FireBall Australia actually owns the USA rights. And he just got too busy and kind of got complacent and just kind of left it be. And so I reached out to him. We've been Facebook friends at this point for a year and a half or so. And I've seen a lot of his stuff and a lot of him posting and stuff. And he's done a really good job at representing the brand over there in Australia. And I knew in Australia it was like a lot more popular than some of the other
Oh, is
countries.
it? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And so I reached out to him and I said, what does it take to get someone here, to start selling product? Because even then at this point, I just wanted product. I'm just a detailer. I'm not anyone special. I just want to be able to purchase products and, use those on my customers' cars.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave me this whole rundown of his, his goals and his passions and stuff. And he said, long story short, he just got so busy that he's kind of left the USA alone. And he said that he had a couple guys that were interested in being a distributor, but they didn't fit the bill. And so I basically straight up asked him, I said, well, what does it take? What does it take to become a distributor? And so him, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jen, the actual owner of FireBall Korea. We got on a video call, and basically we just talked and discussed all the different options and things that were, out in front of us. And I just basically gave him my background of the years of experience I've had, 15 plus years owning a business, multiple different businesses. And that's kind of how it started.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to my co-host who came in a little tardy.
What's going on, man?
This is
Hi,
Rick.
how are you?
Doing good, man. I follow you on Instagram. I like your stuff. I like
Oh, thanks so much. That means a lot. Yeah, sorry I'm late, Mike and Luke, right?
Yes. Yep.
I got distracted by 100 things going on today.
It's all good.
And then I heard you guys talking because I had my StreamYard open and I was like, I'm supposed to be online. So I really apologize. I'm not too late. Only a couple minutes, right?
Hey, best things come to those who wait, so it's okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say good things come in small packages, but we know.
Well, we already know that. You're Canadian.
Yeah. I caught a lot of the response to the first question. Yeah, so that's awesome. I love your
actually
backdrop,
in the
too.
process
Where are
of
you?
me becoming a distributor, I watched some of your videos. I think it was like a Devil's Blood on an Audi, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I was already obviously using the ceramic coatings and whatnot, but there just wasn't a whole lot of marketing material out there. There wasn't a whole lot of information out there, right? It was kind of hard to kind of like find anything out about FireBall.
Oh, I totally agree.
That's the hardest job that I have now is in the United States, everyone wants marketing. Everyone wants to see videos. Everyone wants to see all these ads and all these things, right? But in all the other countries, they don't need that. Word of mouth over there is obviously the bread and butter of advertising and marketing there. So FireBall, obviously has its own distributors in each countries, but they kind of do their business how they see fit. But in the United States, you can't do that. If you're not fighting with the big dogs, if you don't got the best marketing materials, if you don't have, that type of stuff, you're not going to be a big dog. So
you're right. No, it's a brand that really flies under the radar. You probably know, Luke, I'm up here in Canada where I've got Carzilla in my town, and I think Chris at Carzilla is the Canadian distributor. I have a feeling, but he doesn't market it. It's just it really is at this point a word of mouth brand, and guys like myself and Mike and Eric, when he bothers to show up, we will play around with these products, and that gets the word out a little bit. But yeah, it definitely needs another level.
Yeah.
That's your job, right?
It is. So as you can kind of see here where I'm at now, this is actually our training headquarters that I kind of built from scratch, so to speak. And
Beautiful. It's
kind of been progressing month after month to just get better and better and better. But on the other side of me, where you guys can't see, is there's office space and studio space. So what kind of makes it really cool here is, unlike most brands, they're typically hiring out. They're getting crews that do a lot of this freelance work, so to speak, for them. We kind of went a different approach. We want to do things that we have full control over and transparency. We want to be able to bring in cars and do real work to them and show that work and really, take pictures, take videos, and put all that stuff out in the market the way that we want it to look, rather than just taking stock images, stock photos, from Adobe and throwing a bottle on the front of it and saying, hey, you know, this bottle's the glossiest, you know, detailer bottle ever, you know, and stuff like that. You know, we want to showcase our brand in a way that it's not been done before, if that kind of makes sense.
And is FireBall your only brand that you're a distributor
I'm 100% FireBall now. However, I'm completely transparent with everything that I've done in my whole life. The products I still use, you know, I don't use FireBall for everything. You know, there's things that I still use. I'm still a detailer, you know, and I think that transparency is kind of related with a lot more of, you know, the installers more than anything. If there's something that FireBall doesn't have that I personally recommend and that I'm using, I'm going to recommend it. I'm not brand specific when it comes to that. It's about what gets the job done and what works the best.
Yeah. I was thinking years ago I was going to be brand specific, and I kind of did experiment with that, but you'll never find one brand that offers you everything you like. One thing I find with FireBall is that I have some products that I don't even know what they are. You know, and their naming is not exactly like it's kind of English language learner, like FireBall Ultimate Coating Wax, and I'm like, what is this for? You know, so I enjoy learning about those products, but I do have.
So with the Ultimate Coating Wax, everything that they used to do, like at 2015, 2016, 2017, they would call everything a wax, right?
Yeah.
Like the actual word wax in that language means technically coating.
Right.
So it literally could do a bunch of different things. And so that's the language barrier and differences has made it difficult, obviously, for the product naming. And even like on the back of the bottles, have you ever read the back of the descriptions? You know,
first I have to have one of these.
Yeah. So that's also been an issue, like for me coming in and spending all this money on a giant container, you know, in multiple containers and multiple orders, getting all these products in and having to change all that. There's a lot of inconsistencies with the product labeling as well. Like just for instance, the older products are still kind of in rotation, and those have not been updated to the new labeling system and the new setup that they have. And we've worked really hard here in the USA with our graphic design team that is all in-house, that has went through every single product. You know, we have over 200 products. So we went through every single one of them and have remade all of the labeling, all of the descriptions in English. And we're also doing it for all the other countries. So that way the other countries will have specific labeling for them as well, which obviously that's not my job, right? It's not. But
now it is.
I know the only way that we're going to get this company and this brand where it needs to go is they need like an ambassador. They need someone that can speak the language of the American people, right? And that's the thing is like Korea is great at making products. They're great at the technologies and what they do, but unless they have someone that's there on staff that's doing a lot of this stuff, it's difficult.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, every product I have used and I use properly has been the best. Like they have the potential to be the best company.
Yeah.
And, but what you say is just right on the mark, Luke. It has to become more accessible and user friendly and streamlined, because that's great to hear that you're working on that. I know that's a monumental job. I actually lived in Seoul, Korea for 4 years.
Really?
And from 2000 to 2004, and I followed the car community as closely as I could back then. And to see just how they have emerged in the last, I'd say 20 years, like in the car industry, in the detailing industry, tech, come on. Like,
technology all across the board, from mobile phones to, you know, batteries to every single thing. That is like, that's where it's at.
So when I knew that they were Korean, I was like, okay, I know that the guys who are putting these products together in Korea know what the hell they're doing. I know it. And I can tell by using it.
One of the deciding factors for me before kind of jumping on board, it wasn't just the products. I mean, obviously a product only goes so far, And to me, that was like just extra. Having a good product was just extra for me to come into this company. It was never about money. It was never about any of that. I seen the way that Jen treats everyone like family, like literally like family. And when he first met me, he's like, "Oh, you're very young." On video, he's seen me on video and he's like, "You're very young." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm 35." He's like, "That's young."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No,
It does.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it
yes,
is.
of course." So he's, I'm having to kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I've got to prove my worth too. You know what I mean? To the company.
Yeah.
And I've got to build the reputation here that he could start to realize that as a brand globally, because you got all these distributors all over the world. They've been there. They've been doing sales. They've been doing things that are popular for the brand and to help building the brand. And here I come in with nothing, and I'm just this young guy that's saying, "Hey, I'm a detailer." I don't got tons of investors and millions of dollars to help build this brand. All I have is detailing passion. I have experience in the field, and that's ultimately it, and a passion for their brand.
Mhm.
And for him to kind of take me underneath the wing, so to speak, and to kind of, I don't know, like just let me fly and trust the system, I guess,
Yeah.
was a lot for him to kind of take on. But I'm trying to do the best I can.
Nice.
Well,
So-
we'll help support you any way we can.
Mhm.
Appreciate that. All right, number 2.
Number 2, what can you be found enjoying when you're not working?
That's a tough question. I work so damn much.
Typical American answer.
Yeah.
I do a lot of. I go to a lot of car shows local here. I've got a Nissan GTR that I've built from the ground up. And how I kind of got into detailing was that I loved cars, and so if I'm not working on cars, I'm hanging out with family. I'm playing some video games. I play a little bit of Player Unknown Battlegrounds. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but it's a first person or third person shooter game. So I play a little bit of games, but that's once or twice a week.
Well, is this your gaming setup on your Instagram?
Yes. Yep.
My gosh.
It was that. It looks different.
I'm jealous
than that
because
now,
I'm
but
a video gamer myself, and I looked
Yep.
at that. I was like, "Holy shit, that's badass!"
And you've got an amazing GTR. That's actually, you've kind of answered question 8, but I won't speak any more about that.
Yeah. So we'll go with question 3 then. What part of your job brings you the most satisfaction?
Man, the conversation, the people, the experiences with people being able to see things, getting emails saying the things that they say. I mean, everything, all the comments that I always see on Instagram, all the comments that we see on our YouTube channel that we're just starting to build. It's amazing feeling. Like you can't, it's almost like a drug. Like it's an addiction. Like you want to serve people, you want to like provide, and not only a service, but the same thing with the the detailing stuff. It kind of is the same thing. It's like when I work my butt off 6 hours, 8 hours on a car, and they come at the end of the day to pick that car up, and they're just walking around 360ing it, and they're just in love. That feeling is like untouchable, and it's the same thing. Is like I had a video call yesterday with Brad from Australia, and he grabbed me for a second and said, "Hey, I got a quick little rundown of something." He's like, "I had a customer that used Grace on the inside of a tinted window." And at first I'm thinking like, "Oh shit, he's going to say something negative." Because I'm like, why would he use an SiO2 product on the interior of a car? And he said, no, the customer did. And it removed some light hazing and like real small scratches. And the customer was just amazed. And for him to just take his time out of his day to call me and tell me about that little experience, shows his passion and his dedication to how he feels about the products as well. And it's the same thing. We get the same experience. It's no different when you guys first grab a soap or you smell it. And it's like, it smells good. And you're using it and it's an amazing product or whatever the case is. It's the same thing. But Number two it is, definitely the people, the experiences, the feedback, the reviews, all that stuff is amazing.
What part of your job brings you the most satisfaction?
He just.
Oh, yeah, we just did. My bad. Okay,
You're good.
Come on, Mike.
What do
All right,
you
who's number
see
three?
happening in the detailing world that really pleases you?
Man, a lot of the internet talk that was going back when coatings first came out, it was a lot of negative remarks, a lot of derogatory stuff, and there's still that stuff out there, right? There's still a lot of negativity, but I think what you have seen over the last few years is it's starting to come down. I think a lot more people are starting to be a little bit more helpful. They're being a little bit more inviting, and you don't really have to be someone that spends 5-7 years in this industry anymore to really get a name for yourself. You can do it 1 to 2 years and really start to put, your name on the map, so to speak. I worked, I don't know, 10 years without being able to do that. And now YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these things that you have available to you that you didn't have, when I was first starting detailing. It's amazing to see how far this industry has came.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just even the industry; it's the hobby too, right? Like the two feed each other. But, yeah.
Well, just to touch on that just one more second. People with TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff, people were just working back then, right? People were literally just doing their job and going home to their wives and kids, and that was it. Like, you had to do the word of mouth. You had to go to the newspaper and advertise. You don't have to do that anymore. We're doing what we're doing right now, and it's a lot easier to hop on a live video on Facebook, showcase your work to your friends or whoever you might have. But if you're doing it on your business pages and people are following you on your business pages, there's all your customers right there. Maybe you started a new service and you didn't, let's just say window tinting. You just started window tinting, and now you're showing all your followers that you now offer window tinting services. Hell, to do that back when I was first starting, you'd spend thousands of dollars to be able to do that.
It's a great time to be alive.
It is.
Yeah.
All
So,
right,
what do you see happening in the detailing world that really displeases you?
Oh, this one's easy. I see a lot of people undercutting prices and still not selling themselves.
You were talking about that today.
Yeah, they're so focused on what the guy down the street is doing more so than himself. And I still see that a huge problem.
I see that as well.
And I don't understand why. It's like AT&T and T-Mobile fight against each other, right? You see that, and it's no different, but it's an ever-going battle at that same fighting line. It's like if they're $59.99, the other guy's $58.99. It's not, they're not cutting complete throats, And I think that's the biggest difference.
So can you give me a real world example of that? Because I don't undercut anybody because I'm not in this as a business, but what do you see happening in the last month? Do you have
I'll just give you an example of a guy that's here local, and I'm not going to name any names, but we just started a new detailing shop here in Kansas City as well. And I've been trying to push my other shop about an hour away up here to KC for the past, 10 plus years. And we knew that we kind of had the experience and the branding and the name in our town, but to start over here was a little bit difficult. You have all these brands that come in here, but someone that is right down the street from us kind of hopped in with another brand just right out the gates. Never detailed cars before. He's literally fresh. He's brand new to the industry, and he's using that brand to kind of elevate himself. And a lot of the words that he speaks online is not real. It's not true. Just a lot of deception, so to speak. And I think they're trying to, I don't know, use the branding of big brands to really market themselves rather than just being good at what they do, offering great services, great customer service, and being kind of dedicated to that customer service aspect.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're trying to sell themselves on nowadays, more so than anything else, is using the other brands rather than themselves.
Yeah. The one thing I don't like is, for the detailing companies, like, I'm licensed and insured, right? And I have a set rate. So, but the guy down the street doesn't have a license or insurance.
Yep. You said
he is lowballing me, right? The only thing that keeps me going better is I can do Google My Business and he can't.
Yep.
So I mean,
you can work on your business, and
I can work on my business a lot more than that other guy can. But just as an example, I had a guy call me today. He had a minivan, and he said, "Hey, it's not bad." That's what he tells me. It's not bad. I need it washed.
Yeah.
I said, without looking at it, it's $200, but I need to look at it first. Within 2 minutes, he drove by. I said, I won't do it for nothing less than $250. He's like, how about, can you do it for $120? I'm like, no way, not at all. So I was like, listen, I'll call $120. And I said, no way, I can't even wash it for that. And I said, listen, I'll call up another detailer that I know, and I'll see what he'll do it for. He said, I'll do it for $85.
Oh.
So that's what I told the guy. Right? He doesn't know. He told me he'll do it for $85. I said, he said he'll do it for $150. All right, I'll be there in a minute. I said, all right, you'll do it for $150. And I hung up.
You're a good guy.
That kind of pissed me off a little bit, because it's like, I know the dude don't have a license and insurance.
Yeah.
And for him just to go out and do a vacuum and a wipe down and a wash for $85, and I wouldn't do it for nothing less than
who even knows like what he's actually doing compared to you at that point, though. That's the hardest thing, and I think in this industry as a whole is an interior detail consists of what, for who, and what's all involved in that. How long does your interior detail take compared to my interior detail? What are you using compared to what I'm using? There's so many factors that play a role. It's just like going to get a cheeseburger. There's different levels of cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
How do you decide which cheeseburger you are?
Yeah.
And that is the hardest thing in this industry, to really build your image of you being that $15.99 or $24 cheeseburger rather than the 99-cent cheeseburger at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true.
It makes me glad I only do this as a hobby, to be honest, because
what is your favorite way of rewarding yourself after a successful day?
Oh, man. It goes back to just spending time with the family, just being able to get home and see my cat and, pet my cat for a little bit and step outside of the real life and just zone in on that, man. Yeah, for sure that.
Nice.
Family.
What is your personal sign of success?
That's a good one. I think I've already got it. I get to choose every day what I do. I get to hire the best people. I get to be around the best people. I get to train, detailers. To me, that has always kind of been my dream, more so than the distribution or anything like that. It's definitely, the people and all that stuff for sure.
Cool. So now we're really good to get to know you on these next. We got 3 questions left, and really get to know a lot about you on these ones here. JDM, Euro, or American Muscle?
It's funny. I've had all of them, and I like all of them. Yeah. But I would say if I'm racing JDM all day, my normal daily driver would be Euro, and then American Muscle would probably be like a weekend warrior or something like that.
Nice.
That's a perfect answer.
Heck yeah. What do viewers perhaps not know about FireBall but should?
Man, there's so many things.
All right.
So many. FireBall is one of the largest manufacturing facilities in Busan, South Korea. Even on that side of, the globe, they're one of the biggest and one of the nicest. Their facilities are insane. Like
you've
insanely
been,
amazing. You what?
You've been there?
I have not. But we've got tons of video calls there every day that I'm on all the time with them. all the video work that their videographers have been working on recently to update their website. We have all that footage. And if you actually go to our Fireball website, you can actually see it in the About Us section.
Yes, I do. I do see that.
It's
a monster facility.
See, and that's the funny thing is they are actually building one that's double the size right next to it.
Dang.
So is that all just for Fireball, or are they
all Fireball?
Wow.
So they do OEM manufacturing stuff as well. They do other brands. I don't know if you're familiar with Binder, but Binder's their sister company.
Never heard of it either.
I got some Binder products here, and ultimately it's Fireball. It's the same thing. They do some rebranding for other like car care lines that are there, car wash systems. They're starting to do another line for like big, large like Samsung dealerships and stuff like that. And it's going to be like straight going to them. So I've been actually helping with copywriting and stuff for them as well for that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. And this one's, you might have to think about this one for a minute then. What is the recent non-detail related purchase that's left you highly satisfied? And everybody gets this question here.
Oh, this one's a good one. I just bought an electric bike.
Okay. Nice.
E-bike.
Yes. So busy life, right? You know, I've kind of gained some weight. I've struggled eating healthy, and you know, when we're done here at work, it's nice to go out and get a good bite to eat, right? Mm-hmm. But it's to the point where I'm always on video, or I'm always taking pictures, and people see me, and so it's hard for me to want to be on camera all the time. Yeah. And so part of my kind of commitment to myself and getting back to myself is getting in shape and getting healthy. And so people are going to laugh saying it's an electric bike, but part of, I think, why I wanted the electric bike is if I did get tired and, I was struggling to get back, all I have to do is drive back. I don't have to hop off the bike and walk.
You're a thinking man. I like that.
Thinking a little bit ahead.
Big brain.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's almost like, I'm sure you guys have like scooters. In like big cities, you guys hopped on those little things?
I've never been on one.
I've been on one, but they're all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically that, except you have to pedal and you got a bike. It's basically a bike.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about eating. Is KC like the home of barbecue down there in the States? Like, is it pretty famous?
So it's funny. We had some Canadians come here recently, a couple months ago, and they were interested in trying not only the festivities around here, but obviously the food. And I recommended, a couple places, and I said, you know what, let's just go there after the first day of training. And they literally wanted to take food back with them to Canada. And I've had them actually ask us if we could ship the food to Canada. Wow. It was hilarious.
Well, is it still snowing in Canada? I mean, it's been snowing there ever since I met Rick like 13 years ago.
Yeah,
snowing every day.
We have very short barbecue seasons here, so we will never get to the level you guys are at.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's some good stuff down here. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some good places. I've been to Tennessee. There's some good stuff there. It's definitely not on this level because they say Memphis barbecue is good and it's supposed to be the best. It's not. There's some Texas barbecue stuff that's good. Still not on this level. Chicago's had some barbecue. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But you get hit or miss.
And you're from the Kansas City area?
I'm actually from, St. Joe, Missouri is where I'm actually from. It's about an hour north of Kansas City. But we live here in Olathe, Kansas now, which is technically a suburb of Kansas City.
Got it. Awesome.
Nice.
Well, you know where else is a nice place to eat is Seoul, Korea. Or Busan. When you get to Korea, you might want to take me. I could be your food guide.
For sure.
I miss my Korean barbecue. It's totally different, but really good.
What does that consist of?
It's really spicy. So I can't remember the word, but there's like a red paste sauce that is basically in every dish. And it's so good. And they love
curry or something.
What's that?
Like a bunch of curry or something like that?
Well, it's more peppery than curry. Like it's not it's been 20 years since I lived there. I forgot the word for it, but at first you're like, everything you eat there is spicy red hot, and it's like not like hot chicken wing hot, like fire hot. And but that is that
they
just also
part
have
of their heritage or
wonderful like short ribs called kalbi. Oh, I miss it. And it's so cheap.
I'm supposed to be going at the end of this year or the first of next year.
Okay.
So Rick can be your camera guy. He does really good video stuff. If you've watched any of his videos,
I agree with you.
All right. Well, we'll maybe we can work that out. You never know.
When I first came on board, they were doing distributor meetings all the time, and obviously we were rolling into COVID, so that just stopped right out the gate.
Son of a gun.
Yep. And we looked up a plane ticket for Brad and some of the other distributors to go during COVID. It was like $22,000 for them to come from Australia to go to South Korea one way.
What the? Yeah.
It's obviously not that now, but it just goes to show you that it changes.
Yeah. Hopefully it calms down and you don't have to pay that.
For sure.
All right. Well, do we get some questions from the peanut gallery, Mike?
We do have some. I actually have some too from the elephant over here. CJ Byrne wants to know what's the best consumer grade coating Fireball's available.
Unfortunately, Fireball coatings don't have any consumer grade coatings on the market yet, and I honestly don't think they're going to. Who knows? I mean, Jen might have something up his sleeve, but I don't think that he's going to go that route. Even on our order sheets, it showcases like a professional installation only, and it could only be done by trained professionals. There's a couple countries that kind of gotten away with some, I guess, cells of that, but we've kind of cracked down on that and kind of eliminated that.
So how do you have to, like, what do you need to do to qualify if you want to buy a Fireball coating?
Well, it's different in different countries right now, but in the United States, we have a list of requirements that we not only we vet every single one of our installers.
It took me a while.
There's a lot of things that I as an installer, that when I first started doing this, ceramic coatings back early in the 2012, 2013, something in that nature, when they first started coming out big, there was a huge line, even with the other brands that I was first getting into. One, you had to have a business license. Two, you had to have insurance. You had to be able to show full paint correction before and afters. Before paint correction was even a name, it was, polishing or buff jobs or whatever. Yeah. And we were doing, full wet sand and polish jobs at that point in our life because we had a body shop. So I just kind of used those same characteristics, and adapted what Fireball was doing in all the other countries and brought that same kind of flavor here to the US. I want to make sure that we're not only growing ourselves, but we're growing the individuals that we're inviting to join us and on this kind of adventure with Fireball. I don't want our products in everybody's hands. I just don't. And I don't think Fireball does either. They want to make sure that it's going to the right individuals, so that way that it can be installed properly. Two, that it's being represented in the right way.
Yeah.
And not being kind of talked down on. I think a lot of what you see with some of these other brands that are kind of giving their coatings to anybody and just letting anyone install them, you've kind of seen like the prices start to go down for that brand. And if you also kind of seen the brand's name and image come down with it as well. And I'm not saying that it won't happen in the future, but I think right now we're in a really, really good place. And all of our installers are obviously loving it and being exclusive and being able to have something that no one else has down the street, because there's not 20 installers within a 5-mile radius, I think says something about the brand.
So if, let's say you are a certified installer, which one do you think is just the bee's knees? Which coating is just like the top? Because I was going back and forth with a friend of mine. I love Devil's Blood, but I haven't used others. He's using Scylla now, and he says
Devil's Blood is great for hydrophobics. out the gate, and it's very easy to install. Obviously,
I'm putting it on
jump
tomorrow.
on Scylla gets super duper hard quick,
Yeah.
and it basically turns into a diamond. Butterfly, on the other hand, is just on a whole nother level. It's something that obviously you have to try multiple times in order to kind of get the hang of it. I mean, it's not like most coatings.
Well, what does it do during that application that sort of would screw someone up?
I mean, as long as you stick with the time frames, they're super easy. All of our coatings are easy as long as you stick to the time frame. Paying attention to humidity, paying attention to your surroundings and ambient temperature. Like right now, the air just turned on.
Yeah.
If I have direct flow of air pushing onto that panel and I just applied it, the air is going to help cure that panel out much quicker.
Yeah.
I had a guy when I first started that had a shop, and he had what are those? I think you probably got them in your garage. Oh, the little air conditioner heater cooling units that you can hang. A mini split.
Heat.
Yeah, mini split. He had a mini split that was right behind him, and he applied the back of the car, and it was perfect. And by the time he got to the front of the car, the mini split was in the front, and it was forcing air, and he was running into all kind of problems.
Like just hardening too quick.
We come to find out it was the mini split.
Interesting.
So where can someone get their hands on the product? How what's the process? How would they do it?
So everything except ceramic coatings can be found on our website, FireBall-USA.shop. The ceramic coatings in themselves, you have to apply to become a certified installer. Read the list of requirements. If you think that you're close, but you don't have all of them, go ahead and fill out the form anyway. We're going to do a background check on you. We're going to check all your social media. We're going to make sure that you have, everything that we're asking for. And then if you obviously can send us some before and after photos right out the gate, that's great. We'll hop on a phone call with you, get to know you personally, figure out what type of, installer you are. Because at the end of the day, we don't want just people just coming on board. We want the right people coming on board.
Yeah.
Now, back to what you said there, though, we are talking coatings are professional install, but the other 199 products are available to any consumer.
Yes, that is correct.
I just want to say to viewers that I've used so many FireBall products. They're amazing. Like the tire dressings, I've got the satin, I've got the gloss. Reborn, I like more than CarPro Eraser.
It's one of my favorite products for sure.
The foam, and I've just got the new hydro foam, but I haven't tried that. The car washes, like every chemical is easy to use and gets the job done. Coatings, obviously, that might not be something that just anybody can run to the AutoZone to pick up, but
no, I got 3 of them over there at the moment. I know, but Devil's Blood's getting put on tomorrow, and then I got Typhoon, which is a window coating.
No, see that you said that to me the other day. Typhoon is a topper.
It is a dedicated topper with glass coating. Yep.
So explain that. So it is only for glass, or is it for topping on paint?
It's absolutely meant for everything, really. It is the icing on the cake. But it's right now it's our dedicated glass coating.
Can it also be used on top of Devil's Blood?
Most definitely.
Yeah. So that was where Mike and I were having a little
discrepancy that people have with coatings on top of coatings is obviously the multiple layers. So a lot of people are like, why do I need to have 2 layers if I can get everything in one? And that's a fair, question. Yeah. And there's so many brands out there that do have, 2 layers. With all of our coatings, they're all 1 layer, except DocDo. So if you do want to have that super slick feel like you get from other coatings, which typically have more solvent in them and different characteristics, then you're going to need to use the Typhoon or Pirouette or something in that nature on top.
Yeah, and this is where it does get complicated, and it would be good to know a guy like you, and it would be good to have that, knowledge base, because it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming.
It can.
Yeah.
We're trying to make that easier.
Yeah. We've got a question here from my friend Ken. He's also Canadian. I see you have a new SiO2 booster for the tire wax.
Yes. That is a totally new product that no one's done before. And Jen is kind of thinking outside the box here. So, and I've tried it every which way, but ultimately you get a bottle that is either got some of your tire dressing of choice that from our lineup, either the satin, the gloss, or the Janus. Those are the 3 options that you have. And if you have a bottle that's already kind of lowered down on how much you've used it, you can add some to that bottle. And you only need to add about 25% into the bottle and shake it really well, because the consistency that's in the tire booster is heavily concentrated SiO2. So it's very, very viscous and thick. And so you would need to shake it up very, very well in order to get a little bit longer longevity and durability out of your tire coating.
Yeah.
So Jamie the Cleaner is asking, if you were to try one FireBall product, what should it be?
Man,
it's like choosing your favorite child.
I don't know if I could do that. I really don't. I mean, that's the thing is, like, again, you go back to like categories or specific collections of products. Like, you have cleaners, you have dressings, you have all these different things, right? Well, which one? I could at least pick one maybe out of each. No, if I had to choose, this is going to be a hard one because not everyone has this. Nanocoat would be the one that I would choose, but you have to have Nanocoat in your country. Not every country has that. USA, we've got it. So if you want to try something great and something you won't turn back from, Nanocoat would be a great one. In the other countries that don't have Nanocoat, Pirouette, Grace would be the other 2 that I would say definitely try out. They're heavily concentrated, got a lot of SiO2 in them, easy, quick detailers. There's many different uses for those products. Even like a drying aid, if you put some water in the Pirouette, if you want to dilute your own bottles, you can use water in your Pirouette and use it as a drying aid. Just very versatile product.
I would love to use more of the coatings, and the one product that I find hard not to use every time I wash my car, just doing a maintenance wash, is snow foam. I just love it.
So have you used the hydrofoam?
I haven't yet. I have a bottle, but I keep forgetting I have it, and I keep grabbing my red snow foam.
Put that to the test.
Yeah?
Do a durability test, do a gloss test, put it to the test.
Okay.
The one thing that I love about our hydrofoam more so than anyone else's, which is kind of the same thing, is that they put more SiO2, they put more, higher quality of chemical in that bottle.
And what would I follow it up? I would follow it up with a bucket wash using what?
So your hydrofoam is actually technically not meant to be used as a contact wash. It's meant to be used as a topper or a finish wash. So you're only going to kind of, what's that product that used to be? I don't remember what it used to be called that FireBall used to have. It's very similar to if you were doing the Easy Coat Ultimate Extra or just the Easy Coat. There's 2 different versions, but they're basically the same thing. So you would do your regular snow foam wash. You would hand wash the car, using your 2-bucket wash setup, rinse the car thoroughly, make sure it's completely clean. And while you still have water on the car, you're going to take your foam cannon and spray your hydrofoam all over the car. You're going to let it set and dwell for, 45 seconds to a minute. And then you're going to rinse it off, and you're going to have instant ceramic coating beads or hydrophobics right out the gate. And that typically will last anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks or longer, depending on how long you keep it in the sun, what you're using it with, all the miles, all that kind of plays a role. But it's a very easy way to maintain a ceramic coating as well.
So would that work on a non-coated car? Would it still give you
that's standalone protection? Yes.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to try that. That's I've had the same process my whole life where I foam it, then I wash it, and I dry it. But you're saying wash it, do the contact wash, then foam it with hydrofoam.
Yes.
Let it dwell for 45 seconds to a minute, and then power wash that off.
Yeah, and what's really cool about that product is it's very inexpensive. You don't have to use very much. If you got vinyl siding at your house, you got solar panels, spray it on your solar panels. You got instant hydrophobic on solar panels, anything, RVs, tractors, whatever you got, you can spray that on anything, and it's super easy.
Well,
it's
keep your eye out for a new RAD video in the near future. I've got a friend who I owe my flames lost to his Oilers, so I have to wash his car.
I figured you just get some chemical gas product and throw it on there or something.
Maybe I won't use my high quality Fireball products. Maybe I'll use some trash, but no, I'd like to try that. That sounds fun.
Same thing with you asked me earlier on when you first hopped on about the confusing word about Ultimate Easy Coat Extra. So basically that is everything that's in hydrofoam except not the soaked part of it.
Okay.
So you basically get the washing hydrophobics in a bottle right there, but in a heavy concentrated version. So you can take that bottle that's heavily concentrated, put it in a squirt bottle, a diluted bottle, and just add just a couple caps, and you have basically bead maker in your hands.
I got
Okay.
you.
Or you can put it in your foam cannon. You can put it in your wash bucket and do the same thing with using nice clean wash mitts and hand wash your car after it's already been washed, the same way that you would do hydrofoam.
So my mind's just going now, and I'm going to chat to you about this after. But
there's so many
if
things,
you drew
man.
up my plan, and then you just told me what I needed, because I get bored of my same old process all the time, and this has invigorated me. So we'll chat.
So
yes, sir.
I got a question for you. Being new to Fireball, and I do have products to try. How does one upgrade themselves to? I think the highest we can go now is a 3-year coating, right? We can't do any 5 or 7-year coatings at the moment.
You are what it's called technically a professional level. Okay. Yeah. You can get up to Scylla. So the 5-year coating. Everything below the 5-year you get. Anything above that, we recommend that you either come to a training or you fill in that gap of the other requirements that were listed that you didn't meet, if that makes sense.
Okay. And what are those? By the way.
So the professional
you get to California, I can't meet those.
Yeah, you can. You can meet them. So it honestly depends. The professional has its own selective, attributes to it, right? There's a ton of different entry guys getting into the brand. There's a ton of people that have been doing this for a while, right? And then there's a ton of people that have brick and mortar shops compared to just mobile detailers. There's all kinds of different, categories that you could put people in, so to speak. And it's really difficult to kind of put those people in that category as well. So the easiest way that we do it is we start almost everyone right out the gate at the professional. We want them trying out the coatings. We want to see the brand, how the brand works. If you're going to test out the coatings, if you're going to, use the products, because a lot of people want to just try things out and then that's it. They just another one down the line. And we don't want to be that company. We want someone that's actually going to invest in yourself for one, and invest in trying something out and really taking that to a whole nother level. Because if you try something out once, it doesn't really give it the best representation of how that product works or what it does. You really kind of got to learn that product. And the only way that we can do that is starting you somewhere and moving forward.
Got it. And what makes is it called DocDo? Is that what it's called? DocDo. What makes that the god of Fireball?
It's on a whole different level.
That's what I hear.
The base coat is basically just the base. Obviously, it's similar to other products, but instead of it being like full of solvent, it's not full of solvent. Okay, and so you're basically starting that block of coating with the base and then letting it cure for 2 hours and then coming back and finishing out with top. The base coat won't do anything unless you put the top on. So we get a lot of people that ask, well, can I just buy base? No, you can't. You have to have both. It is the curing chemical of the base coat.
Got it. And then right below that, there's a 7-year coating right below that, right?
So right below that is our new butterfly graphene. And then the 7-year butterfly is right underneath that. Got it. Cool.
So
those are the big boys.
Yes, they are the big boys. Yeah, I know. I was looking at like, man, I got TRX in order. I'm like, what do I want to put on the thing? I don't want to do no 3-year coating because I want that to last forever. So I've been looking and researching because I have System X too, but
yeah,
I'm looking. Well, it's gonna take 3 months for me to get this damn thing. So I got some work to do.
So when are you coating that? It's a Jeep, right? It was a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, it's a Jeep Sahara. Yeah, it's getting coated tomorrow. It's actually
Nice.
sitting right here because today I did the fabric and the leather today, and then I had another car in that needed a full detail, so I went and did that. And then tomorrow is a wash and coating, and then Monday it's going in to get the windows tinted, and then it's coming back to get the glass done.
Do you tint the windows, or you send them out?
I sent it. Yeah, it's going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to give you a good tip of that guy that wanted that $120 package earlier too. You could have just sold him on that $85 one that you could have paid for that guy to get your $85 and just.
I told him, and I did almost said that to the guy too. I wanted to say to him, you know what? Just come over here right now. Use all my tools. I pay the $85.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge that dude $150.
It's crazy, man. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
To you. So what are you doing now, Rick? Are you just hanging out? What do you do on the weekends?
Well, I am a teacher, so my weekends are my real downtime, my rejuvenation. So I do, now that the weather's nice, hopefully, I'll do a detail every other weekend for select people. I have a very select clientele, I guess you could say, friends who bring me interesting cars.
And
last weekend, yeah, thanks, Mike. Last weekend, I did a beautiful Porsche for a friend named Nick. And then this weekend, I'm doing yard work. Next weekend, I'm doing a white Porsche for another guy, but I've already done a video for that one. So I'm just going to be working on that. And then when I get to summer holidays, it's a quick 6-week holiday. I like to detail. I like to hang out on these live streams. You mentioned earlier that you love the connections that you've been able to make. I put out a video this morning, and I just love the comments. I get a high off the comments. I could care less about the views. Well, I shouldn't say that. I care a little bit, but when I see there's 30 comments before I've even gotten up, I'm like, ooh, comments. And yeah, just chilling.
I like comments too.
Yeah, I know you do, Mike. We always answer all of them, don't we?
Yes.
So what got you into detailing?
Same story as a lot of our guests. 15, 16, I couldn't afford a car, but I loved cars. So the best thing to do was to clean my parents' car, and then they would let me drive it under my learner's license. So I was always out there on the driveway with the Dawn dish soap and the woolly towel. And then when I moved back from overseas in 2010, my wife and I built this house, and it has a pretty nice garage, and then it just started to snowball from there.
Nice.
And I have to thank my local friend Chris, who owns Carzilla. He's always been there to help introduce me to new products and new processes, and that just sort of turned into what it is today, which is a really satisfying hobby that allows me to connect with people from actually all over the world. So
that's awesome.
That's one of our questions we usually start off with, is what got you into detailing, but we had so many other questions to ask you just because you've got this unique role with FireBall. But what got you into the detailing here?
Oh, that one's an easy one. I was a kind of a guy that was already into cars, obviously. And when Fast and Furious came out, I wanted to have the nicest ride, more so than my friends. And I wanted to make sure that it looked better than everyone else's. So when we went to the cruises, it was clean, and people were getting in it or checking it out, popped my hood, and it was all decked out.
Yeah,
so that's definitely what got me into it.
The car I drive isn't uncommon here. In fact, I've seen the same spec Audi SQ5 like almost daily, but I know people when they're driving theirs, they look at mine and they're like, why does his look so different?
Yeah.
And
on a different level, right?
Oh, I love seeing one in a parking lot. I just park mine a couple stalls away, and I just, yeah.
How do you like your SQ5?
Oh, I love it. It's the best car I've ever had for a family, for a young family, and for a guy my age who I like a little bit of thrill. I don't need too much, but I also need the practicality. And plus, our winters here are brutal, so the Quattro with winter tires is just unstoppable. So
yeah.
Well,
and you got the fancy floor mats.
I got the yeah, that's right. I got the fancy floor mats and everything.
The ones that go all the way around and cover everything.
That's right. Yeah, I got those.
Yeah, my brother's got a what is it, an S4.
Oh yeah.
My twin brother. He actually is the one who runs our shop now that I've taken this position. And we bought a Audi e-tron last year and kept it a month and got rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the range, we would only be able to get like 200 miles out of it.
Yeah.
Just with the range. And driving back and forth from St. Joe to Kansas City, I'd have to stop and charge for 2 hours just to even come back home.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. No, range anxiety is a real thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a friend who has, I think he's onto his second e-tron. He likes it, but it isn't the magic vehicle yet. Maybe.
They're nice as hell, but
yeah. Well, I like the e-tron GT. That thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if that thing goes 20 miles. I would buy that.
Yeah.
But,
so, how long has actually Fireball been in business?
Good question.
So Fireball and Jen himself has been in business since 2002. The business before him, technically being under Fireball, was like a chemical and bottling plant with his dad. And it was underneath a different entity and a different name. But I think they changed the name in 2015 to Fireball Ltd. Company. And so the new Fireball's name actually started in 2015.
So what makes Fireball more successful overseas to where we can't be kind of that successful in the United States?
Well, my only hopes are is that we are going to be that successful.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing there is the word of mouth, the products and the people, the customer service that Fireball gives, their installers all over is what really has changed that, kind of stigma with the rest of the brands that are in those countries.
Got it.
Well, and I think the hard work you're doing to streamline just the naming, the bottling, the labeling. I do think that's really important work, Luke.
Well, thank you. I mean,
extremely active on social media.
Well, it makes me look like I'm active. I'm not always the one that's on there.
Oh, okay.
but yeah.
Mike and I don't have teams to help us. It's us.
Yeah. That's it.
Man, I had to hire a team. I had no choice.
Yeah.
There's no way to be able to bring this big of an animal to this large of a country and expect to get somewhere without a team.
Yeah. Well, I guess, Mike, you and I are a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do things for each other.
We do.
How'd you guys meet?
Pan.
Just what we're doing here. For when I first started doing the live streams, it was me and Eric, Papa Smurf. And then when it came to summertime for him, that was his busiest time, and he's a full-time mechanic. And his parents own the shop. Him and his brother work there. They'll be taking the shop over, once the parents are done. But so he was devoted mainly to that. And then I ran the pitch to Rick, and Rick was like, heck yeah.
That's awesome.
So sometimes we'll have sometimes it'll be me, Rick, and Eric, and then we'll be chatting with somebody. Sometimes it'll be just me and Eric, or just me and Rick. But I usually get Rick a lot in the summertime, where I'll get Eric more in the wintertime because, him being the teacher, he's busy. And he's a hockey guy. So that's the winter time's hockey for him.
Yep. Sports time, right?
Yeah. My son's playing basketball, Mike, and I don't enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed watching him play hockey. But today was a good game. I got courtside seats. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Who do you root for?
Basketball, I could care less.
Warriors, baby, Warriors. I'm in Northern California.
I figured you'd be like a Raptors.
Warriors are right there.
Yeah, I watched the Raptors. They'd had a great season a couple of years ago. That was all right, but hockey is takes up all my spare time. NHL.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
well, I'll do whatever I can to promote you guys. You guys do an awesome job. I've obviously kind of followed Rick a little bit off and on, but the videos that I have seen, I can definitely tell you work hard on them. You spend a lot of time trying to
He does.
protect not only your craft, but the videos themselves. And nobody really gives credit to YouTubers that are really trying to build their name on that platform, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And people don't understand how much work it really is.
Only till you try it do you realize. And then you want to get better, so that means more time. And then it's just,
it does need a lot more time.
But there's so many rewards, right? Like, people bash the internet, but the internet has treated me really well
so far. What
would you know something? Did you hear something, Mike?
Well, no, I mean, there's like, some people, they get the keyboard warriors always in their comments all the time, so they're always having to have that mindset. It's like, let me get the negative comments coming.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason I don't like doing reviews, is because then you start stirring up people's opinions, and some people think their opinion is fact. I'd rather just wash a car and make a beautiful video of it. And if you like it, great. If you don't, bye-bye.
Yeah.
What I think, honestly, is kind of helped you propel your business, and just me looking on the outside, is the way you do things. You've kind of, from my side of view, you've kind of scripted your process to somewhat perfection, and your branding and your logos and all that stuff, and how you portray your image online, I mean, goes a long way. And it's a good image.
Yeah. You know what, for an amateur, I'm pretty proud of what I'm able to do. It's all spare time. Yeah. My wife and I, we fantasize about what it would be like if I took a leave of absence for a year and really dedicated myself to doing things. And it's exciting, but also scary. But that's really nice of you to say. Thank you. Well, take that leap of faith, man. We're supposed to be complimenting you on these live streams. You're not supposed to come on here fluffing our tires.
Oh, that's all right.
Ken's wondering, so FireBall, the wheel cleaner, was deleted from the website. Is it a discontinued product?
Is he talking about the Canada website, or is he talking about my website?
He is Canadian, so it could be. I'm not sure.
So with Canada, they get to choose what they bring in to their own distribution, and because he's not 100% FireBall, he's representing multiple different brands. He just gets to select whatever he wants. He has no real stipulations or requirements through FireBall. Okay. When it comes to being like running an entire country, I think Canada has multiple different distributors in there now that is selling FireBall products. Whether they pull their products off the shelf is completely up to them. But no, it's not discontinued, to answer the question.
Okay, cool.
And I just picked up some wheel cleaner not too long ago. It's the one in the black bottle, right?
Yes. Yep.
Maybe they were just out at Carzilla, or maybe it's just not on the Carzilla website.
Yep.
Yeah, probably. And just make sure you use RAD 5, right? Or RAD Garage.
That's right.
Yeah, make sure you use RAD Garage at checkout, kid.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes, people.
Red bottle. So the red bottle is the clear ones, and those are the 2015 models. So yes, they are replacing that version with the new black bottle, and it's actually an updated formula. It works much, much better than that old bottle.
Hold on to that red bottle, Ken. You might have a collector's item on your hands there. That's what some people are into, collecting vintage car detailing products.
Yep. Yeah. Honestly, I personally like the old bottles better than the new ones.
Yeah. Change is tricky when you. So what are the old ones? Are they the ones that sort of have the prism look to them?
No, those are the new ones.
Oh, I like those. So what are the old ones?
I'll grab a couple and I'll show you real quick.
Okay, show us. And then we probably got to wrap this up here, Mike, because the reason I was a little late is I went on a pizza run and I haven't had a chance to have any.
I had pizza yesterday.
Oh, I love this.
For me, well, what sucks? We always have to order 2 pizzas, one for the family and then one for me, because gluten-free only comes small.
Oh, gluten-free. Right. Are you gluten-free?
I've been for a while.
These are the old bottles.
Oh,
okay.
And I've never had the one in your right hand. That one I'm familiar with.
This one.
Yeah.
So this is the Binder brand, which is our sister company. Okay. It's all manufactured and made in the same name, same place, but just different labeling and branding. And technically, this is a similar product to what we call in the Fireball world Grace.
Okay.
And then these are the new bottles.
Those are the ones
Yes.
I have.
Yes.
Yeah, I have those.
Yeah, his wife.
You don't like those as much as the old ones?
You know, I don't. I actually like Binder's bottle better than all of them. If you look real close, it's kind of got like some diamonds on it.
Oh, look at that.
And then it's got like a little grip down here and stuff. So,
well, I will say Fireball is pretty slick with the packaging. And the first time I unscrewed the Devil's Blood, I was like, this is a good experience. It's just got,
some elegance to it.
And I know some people out there are like, oh, you're such a sucker for marketing. But, for me, I'm only in detailing for the experience of detailing. Like if it doesn't make me feel good and I don't feel fancy, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. So, give credit to Jen's wife, the owner of Fireball, because she's the one that designed all the packaging and came up with all of it. So even like the wax containers that are crystal clear, limited edition acrylic, those are all done by her.
Oh, well, she's got a gift.
Yeah.
So is Fireball known in Australia?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, because someone's asking how can we get Fireball products in Australia?
You can just reach out to Fireball Australia through Google. But from what I've been told, Fireball leads the line of coatings over in Australia. So they're ahead of all the pack. So when people are looking for ceramic coatings, people know that Fireball is the one to choose from.
That doesn't surprise me. Australia is usually way ahead of us on lots of stuff. I love Australia.
Our distributor from Australia sent me a care package full of candies, food, crackers, seasonings, T-shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff, right? I bit into the Kit Kat bar, and it was the best experience of chocolate that I've ever had.
Who sent you that?
Our distributor down there for Fireball.
Oh, that's nice. You guys all take care of each other.
Yes, we do actually. And then what's funny is I had Germany send me a bottle of wine and some other stuff, and they couldn't even get it here in the U.S. Like I had to pay like $500 for customs for that bottle of wine.
Yeah, that's the same in Canada. The Liquor Control Board controls the import, and if you want to go around it, it's basically you have to become an importer.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Mike. Why don't you give viewers? We'll say bye to Luke in a second here, but before we do that, why don't you give viewers an update on what's coming up in the next couple weeks or months?
Man, we got some really, really good stuff. Let's see. Our next one will be on the 11th of June, which will be Gorilla Car Care's 1-year celebration.
Congratulations to those guys.
So I've asked them, and I believe they are going to be doing some giveaways during the live stream. So you don't want to miss that out. We got Proje, TOC, O'Burt Car Care, Kosh Kemi, Jax Wax, Masterson. That's just what we got coming up in the next couple months.
Nice.
So make sure you're in the description. Once it's over, you'll see the links to FireBall-USA, to the YouTube channel. Make sure you go there, subscribe. If you're not subscribed yet to Rick or Mike's channel, go subscribe to our channels as well. And then if you want to try Fireball's products, I believe there's also a link to FireBall-USA's website. You can go there, try their products. And if you want to get into the coatings, fill out the application and get it over to Luke, and he'll take care of you from there.
Yes, sir.
So, other than that, what am I forgetting?
I think that's good. I think lastly, we just got to thank our special guest, Luke from FireBall-USA.
Yeah, we're going to take him backstage with us.
Yeah, don't go away because we want to chat a little bit more with you, but we'll let the rest of these people get back to their wonderful weekends.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and happy birthday, Dee Dee, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Stay rad, everyone.